David Pendleton, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good.
I always ask you that, and you always give me that same. You are such a bright and shiny person.
I know, it's terrible.
I wish some of it would rub off on me.
Okay.
How do I get it?
How do we get it? Well,
how do I capture your shininess?
I meditate every morning.
Ooh, that I think you told me that before. When am I going to start remembering things? The Alzheimer's is getting worse and worse. Dave Michaels.
Good morning, MZ.
How is the Dave Cave?
The Dave Cave is fantastic.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
How's the supplements?
Supplements, we still have, surprisingly, pretty much everything that you might be looking for out there. We have a little bit of everything out there still. It's surprising. The 2.5 is what I'm really surprised about. We have probably about 10, maybe 12 left of those. I think they're starting to become more popular than the 2.0.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because they're more tropical flavored?
Well, not just that, because they have more B vitamins. So they not only have a different flavor, but they also give you a little more kick. And you really notice it. So the 2.5 is becoming more popular than the 2.0 now. I knew it. I knew it was just going to be a matter of time.
It might happen.
Yeah.
It was only, and you've been doing a wonderful hour, 4 o'clock hour with Pharmacist Ben on Fridays, huh?
Yeah, that's been fun.
Yeah, and he's always interesting to learn from, and so forth. And you're going to continue doing that. I think we're going to be introducing something new that I guess we'll talk about later, but not now. But something very new and interesting.
Good.
For the 5 o'clock hour?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll talk about that.
That's very good. So any particular deals today?
Well, MZ, I would like to keep the sale going. This would be the last day of the sale. Buy your Tangy Tangerine and everything else is 30% off. It's easy, super easy. Everything is 30% off except for the Tangy Tangerine. Buy your Tangy Tangerine, everything else 30% off.
It's so simple,
deal.
Even I can understand it.
It's a great deal, MZ. I'll be out there till 2. I am every Saturday from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. If you can't make it by the station, you can go to kscohealth.com. Or you can go to ksco.com and you can find a link there, and you can also donate to your favorite radio station.
Great.
ksco.com or call 218-5726. That's 218-KSCO.
We are going to have a very unusual program today. I'm going to start by reading a message to our audience. And I don't know, it might take up the whole 2 hours, or it might only, take up 10 minutes. We'll see. But there's all kinds of things to talk about today.
Good.
So stay with us and have a good time in the Dave Cave.
Good. All right,
okay.
Okay, bye.
All right, here we go, so to speak, right? Here. What is it? Yeah, I thought I had it going. You know what?
What did you like? Hour one?
No, I got it. I was just an idiot. I just didn't have the right button.
Good morning. A brighter day is here. Good morning. May we bring you cheer.
We've got time, we've got tunes, we've got time, tunes, and temperature.
Get up and go, it's today, on KSCO Radio.
You would think that after more than 32 years of doing the show, not necessarily owning the station, that I wouldn't forget something as elementary as pushing the button to make the sound, the good morning. But I did.
Well, I got my own...
Does that mean I should retire?
No.
Oh, you're very kind. Anyhow, stay with us for the next 2 hours. I think you'll be happy you did, I think.
Good morning. Now stay right here on KSCO Radio.
We have two fabulous restaurant sponsors for the KSCO Saturday Special. Casa Rosita's just down the street from KSCO. I think it's the best Mexican restaurant I've tasted.
I'm dying to go there.
Yeah, well, yeah, my understanding is that last Saturday and Sunday, it just broke the places down. But wait a minute, I don't want to say that because we don't want to discourage people from going. We want to encourage people to go to Casa Rosita's and have their they have their crisp and soft tacos. They have all kinds of things to put in the tacos. Amy, you had a shrimp taco, right?
Yeah.
Now
delicious.
you don't. It was delicious.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the best.
And let's see, they had tacos de birria. And it's the best Mexican place. Anyhow, that's right at the corner of 26th Avenue and Portola Drive. So when you go in there to try what MZ says is damn good, if not the best Mexican food in the county, make sure you mention that you're there because you heard MZ on KSCO talk about it. And Amy too. And you could David.
I will have it. I will have something for you next week.
Okay, good. You could mention that you heard that David from KSCO is also going to go in. He can't give an honest report right now because he hasn't consumed anything from there.
Not yet.
All right. Now, the other restaurant that is sponsoring this edition of the KSCO Saturday Special, long-time sponsor on KSCO, but new sponsor just last week, starting Ella's at the airport. New owner, Shallow, but Shallow has wisely maintained Ella's fabulous recipes and menu. And the food there is out of this world. My favorite, I think I mentioned it before, is, it sounds sort of boring, the California BLT and bacon, lettuce, tomato. And I've never tasted anything so good, any kind of a BLT that good. So I'm starting to drool all over the microphone. I hope it's not coming through your radio or your smartphone. But it's very, very well worth it. Tell Shallow. MZ at KSCO. I mean, Charlie's been talking about it for years, and they've had ads running. They've been a major supporter of your favorite radio station. So, check it out if you haven't already. And if you have, I'm sure you agree with what I've said. And just let it jog your memory that it's a great place to eat, especially if you're anywhere near the Watsonville Airport area, and you can watch the airplanes come in and fly out. It's wonderful. Okay. I'm going to record a special message. I don't know whether we'll call it a commentary, an editorial, or we'll probably just call it a special message. And I wrote this message this morning because I wanted to open the show. So I'll be stumbling because I don't read perfectly well, When we do commercials and promos at the radio station, we have the benefit of having, the pre-record, and the genius of Billy Graff here, our production manager. So I'll probably stumble a few words here, but I'm going to re-record this, and you're going to hear it every hour or two starting next week. But here we're going to introduce it on the Saturday special. Dear KSCO audience, it's time to share with you some KSCO issues involving the local government dating back to pre-COVID 2019 that will soon be coming to a head. The best case end scenario is that KSCO and the County of Santa Cruz will be reasonable with each other and work things out. The worst case end scenario is that the county will use its authority to punish KSCO financially to the extent that it is no longer feasible to operate the station. And I'm dead serious, folks. In a nutshell, here's the story. Back in 2015, we installed our party patio to use as a special, unique venue for station and community events, some of which some of you may have attended over the years. We built a beautiful concrete patio, walkway around the building, and wall seats without obtaining permits from the county planning department because I did not believe a permit was required. Even the concrete contractor who installed the patio said no permits were necessary. But apparently we were both wrong. Because of the proximity to the lagoon, they call it a riparian corridor, in quotes. Different rules apply. Long story short, the county has busted us and insisted that we obtain permits after the fact, which is okay. The problem is I very foolishly signed a legal document called a stipulation and order in which I agreed to do certain things like getting a survey done by a licensed professional surveyor by certain dates. It was basically a blank check to the county obligating me to, going forward, pay for any and all staff time that the county chooses to assist. Stupid of me, I know, but the deed is done. I am now at the county's mercy. The $2,500 survey concluded that I was in fact in compliance with the law, and I considered the matter closed. County planners, however, did not agree with the surveyor's findings and rejected his report. They require that I saw cut, jackhammer, and haul away an enormous amount of concrete patio and walkway because they say they would never have issued a permit for the concrete that close to the lagoon. I believe that this is not only wasteful, it is stupid, unreasonable, incredibly expensive, not to mention harmful to the environment. I have reached out to Supervisor Manu Koenig, who represents KSCO's district, to help obtain a waiver or exception or some sort of solution to the riparian rule so that a beautiful public asset does not have to be destroyed. Supervisor Koenig seemed quite understanding and supportive, given KSCO's long history of serving as an incredibly valuable lifeline for the community during earthquakes, floods, power outages, and other local disasters and emergencies. Let's hope Supervisor Koenig and at least 2 other county supervisors will work with us to make this happen. That's my message, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't know how many of you care. I guess we'll find out. What do you think, Amy? You have some thoughts about this. You and I discussed this earlier.
Just calm down. I think you're very stressful now. Probably didn't sleep all night long, right? Because
several nights.
You look up very
several nights.
pale.
I look like I'm pale and going to die.
Yeah.
And that's what I think the government shouldn't do that to people. But
yeah. So now, back to you just said that your statement. Talk about the stipulation. To me, the meaning of that is a part of an agreement, right? And between 2 parties or more parties, and is a condition or requirement is specifically or demanded as a part of an agreement. Mm-hmm. So, but I think the U.S. law say that this kind of thing, to be effective, had to be signed by judge and the recording open court. So I don't know your stipulation form you signed is all legally?
Jeez. I mean,
recorded by the open court. A judge signed this stipulation?
I don't know if it was a judge. It was some sort of a marshal. I don't know. I'm using the wrong words. I don't know. I can dig it out and look at it and so forth. I'm not claiming that I was smart or right. I'm claiming quite the opposite. I'm claiming I was stupid. I signed something that I shouldn't have signed.
No, that's beside the point. My point is, they legally presented to you. Also, you talking about they even charge you for they send the people their times. Send the people to examine this issue. They can send
and I asked, rather than just talk about it.
I was shocked because I never heard about it. When in the United States, 40 years I resigned in Bay Area, San Francisco County, Sorrento County, Contra Costa County, and I have some real estate also involved with planning department, all things. I never would pay anything for the people they send it to examine the issue and to issue something and for the fees, for their time. Just like you got traffic tickets. Are they charge you for the cop issue a ticket for you? I never heard about that. That was shock.
Well-
but I thought you were joking. I really thought you were joking. You said they're going to charge you thousands of dollars.
How could anybody be so stupid as me to have signed something like that? But I don't know.
They specifically saying they send one person as a clerk, maybe $125 an hour. Another person is a counselor, whatever, $500. Are they in the stipulation what you signed? Did they specifically talking about those? Then you signed, or they didn't? Just
I don't.
Just say sign.
They said.
I don't think
going
like that.
forward, you're going to have to. You agree to pay whatever we charge you, and I stupidly signed it. So I deserve what I'm getting. That's what I said.
No.
Okay. Now,
I think
just
it's
so you know, just so the audience knows.
Unconstitutional.
Just so the audience knows. I think it was two weeks ago. It was a Monday. We had, I asked for a representative from the county to come and draw a line, indicating everything on this side of the line gets to stay, and everything on that side of the line has to be jackhammered out, saw cut, and hauled away. And they did it. The good news is a major part of the patio where we have most of the parties, they're allowing us to keep, and I told them I appreciate that. That's good. But the rest of the walkway around the station that we installed for fire protection and for protection of the stucco for the berry bushes and poison oak and everything that was growing up and undermining the building, I guess I shouldn't have decided to make it wide in some areas where I could have made it wide. I wanted it to look nice, and I wanted it to be functional. And that is what we're going, the amount of square footage that we're being told that we must eliminate and destroy and haul away amounts to probably as much as the main patio, maybe more square footage. Doesn't matter. I'm not here to start a war with the county. I'm just here, although it might sound like it, I don't mean it to be that way. The people at the county are doing their jobs. And they are...
Yeah, but the purpose of the job is to protect the people, not to against the people. Don't you think?
Okay.
That's what the taxpayer money for. We pay that. But I don't understand that you pay the city employees, they all salary, everything, get money.
All right.
And then you had to pay their time? Or I don't
yes,
quite
well,
understand
yes,
that.
as a matter of fact.
It's true, right?
It's absolutely true.
Wow.
Because I sent an email 2 days ago to the man who reminded me that I better, you can apply for a waiver, but it's never going to be granted. And if I were you, I would just stick to the stipulation and pay us whatever we charge. And I said, well, how much have I rung up already? Well, counting the last visit with two planners and one county council staff member, it's about $3,000 or $4,000.
Just one visit.
And it was before that it was like $1,300. So that visit that I asked for to draw a line to define what can stay and what has to go. And then I would make my decision. And my decision has been made. It's unreasonable, and I'm not going to do it. Take that.
So you require 3 people?
Yeah, I guess they sent 3 people
They
and
tell you
a
before
bill
they
and a
come
bill
in how
for
much
more
is.
and a bill for more than $1,000. And I think I'm so mad at myself because I did this to myself. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but you didn't know about that. You know about that? They tell you exactly what's going to happen, what you're going to
No, they didn't say exactly.
All I know is that you say that you hire a professional survey and pay $2,500, and the conclusion is you're not violated anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's okay.
But the county
and,
didn't.
In fact,
the county staff did not like that.
7 years passed by, right? 7 years, and there's nothing to do, don't damage the lagoon or building or anything. I mean, it's good for community and good for the lagoon.
Yeah.
And I think also because the fire, they want the people and to have the walkway and for fire truck easy to access. So if you know it's difficult, they have to go to the water to do it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So the survey, did they reject it? They just say no. They didn't tell you why.
No.
Why they reject that survey, professional survey? You pay for it.
I think they were.
Any reason, Pacific?
They said something about it's not mean high water, it's high water.
Just a
not mean high.
definition of the word.
Yeah, just a word, just a word
Wow.
thing. And now, what are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? We do nothing but don't. And I'm getting ready to pull the plug, ladies and gentlemen. Wouldn't you do that?
Well, also the punishment, the money, how much? 7,500 or something, and because the COVID, so lots of government not totally, completely open like as usual.
Yeah.
So that was I think that you called the meeting was never happened because the COVID was delayed the meeting.
Yeah.
So that you had to be punish you for that, and but meanwhile
Well,
you
no.
station.
In all fairness
Yeah.
to the county, they did. There was a stipulation before this, and I didn't finish everything on schedule. Everything's all screwed up because of COVID. And in all fairness to them, they said, look, let's write a new one with new dates that gives you more time. I don't want people to think that I think the people in the county are bad people. I don't think that at all. I've said it before in this broadcast. They are simply doing their job.
As a servant or as a master?
As a master.
Government.
As a master.
Government worker, officer or whatever should be servant. Serve you, serve the community, serve the people. That's how I know. Otherwise, it would be same as a communist.
Yeah, it is very much like that. I'm not calling them communists, but I sure am calling what our government is becoming, after listening to you, because no one carries more weight talking about the reality of communism
difference
in
from
my
here,
world,
this
in my
kind of-
life than you.
This kind of
Because you've lived it. You've gone through it.
Our system is different from a communist. Communist, they call everything people, People's Republic China, People's Court, People's Party, everything people. But what they do is against people, how to control people, make them enslaved. But they call the name, under name of the people this, people that. That's communist, okay?
Yeah.
So here we examine the principle of this country is the government, right, is paid by the people. So they should work for the people, for their interests, to protect the people. Law and enforcement, same. Don't you think?
Yes, I do believe that. It sort of reminds me about one of the things that was stated at the meeting. It was totally arbitrary. It was totally arbitrary. I mean, they could have said I had to jackhammer out the whole main patio. They could have, but they didn't. That was nice. But what they did say is that I had to, they made an arbitrary number of 3 feet. Everything from the patio steps all the way down and around the rest of the building. Anything more than 3 feet from the edge of the building to make like a 3-foot walkway and closer to the lagoon had to be jackhammered out, saw cut, jackhammered, and hauled away. And I said, well, I appreciate your being willing to let me use any of that. And the attorney who happened to be with me too, had to remind them. They said, well, we're going to let you. And he said, wait a minute, you don't say let you. This is his property. It's not your property. He had to remind them. But it went in one ear and out the other. But in any case, going around the walkway around the radio station doesn't have to be totally jackhammered out. And that's nice. I guess they could have been nastier, but that's nice. But I said, if you're going to be arbitrary for 3 feet, why not be arbitrary for 12 feet in one area, and 4 feet and 5 feet in another area? No. They're just very arbitrary. Because according to, I guess, the law in place, they have the right to do that. So I don't know. I've reached out to the supervisors via my own, this area, 1st District Supervisor, Manu Koenig, to see if there's something that they would be willing and able to do. I think they're able to do anything. Maybe I'm wrong. I think 3 of the 5 Board of Supervisors could say, this is ridiculous to make this beautiful community asset be destroyed. It's stupid, and we are granting a waiver. That's what I think is possible, but maybe it's not. Maybe the laws are so intertwined and convoluted that they would be in trouble if they did that. I just don't know. All I know is that it's sad that there is a very real possibility that this amazing radio station that is an asset to the community, and yes, even the liberals who hate our guts and wish we would die, even they will admit that when there's an earthquake or when there's a flood or when there's a power outage or when there's any kind of local disaster, KSCO is here for all of us. And what would it be like without KSCO?
It's just like the COVID for almost 3 years now. Most of the government all closed.
Yeah.
Everywhere. They don't do anything because of COVID. So they delay everything, but the KSCO is still open. Not the one moment's closed.
Yeah,
right?
24/7.
So still serve the community.
That's right. And I think it would be a shame to go away. But frankly, it's okay. This is a perfect opportunity for me to retire. It costs a lot more money than it brings in to run this place, and I've considered it a personal philanthropy. Thank God I've been in a position until now to keep this place going.
The most important is the stress to you,
Right.
You may
Yeah,
not
I don't
live through
like
that.
I don't like not sleeping at night for such idiotic reasons. I just don't like it, and I'm not going to put up with it much longer. I pray to God that I can live a little longer. I don't mean to be overly dramatic. This is killing me, and I don't want it to kill me, and I don't think you want it to kill me either. Sorry I'm so dramatic, but this is coming from the heart, folks. We have some callers, it looks like. Okay. Who should we... All right, well, I'm going to hit take next, whoever that is. Shamra in Santa Clara. Hello?
Yes. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes.
These people should be pinned. You are a community asset. They are nothing but dirty bastards, and they deserve to be called out. This is a case of these people, these dirty bastards. And they...
Well, I don't want to, I appreciate what you're saying, but I don't want to go down that road. I really don't. I mean, I'm looking for solutions so that we can bring this thing to...
You provide a community asset, and you have been on air since 1991. I go to work every morning. I work for the county of Santa Clara, but I listen to KSCO. And these are nothing but a bunch of Democratic dirty bastards like Joe Biden. And they have provided you nothing but headache and nothing but stress and mismanagement, and they deserve to be called out by not only the people in your community, but the people around the community. Again, they are nothing but dirty bastards.
Okay, well, thank you for calling 479-1080. Our next caller is Colonel Terry, who has a solution.
Well, good morning. Can I be heard?
Yeah.
There are a number of solutions. First of all, it goes back to the reason we had the revolution. In part, the English crown, King George, had appointed British judges who were corrupt, couldn't be trusted entirely throughout the colonies, in addition to the tax collectors who also cheated the colonists, in addition to the requirement to pay the crown taxes without representation. Now, your situation also includes Now, the circumstances of abuse and capricious authority of government or use of it, most significantly, MZ, it's another example of the long history of the county of Santa Cruz government, and I'm not exaggerating an iota, to not care about what's fair and balanced to property owners in this county. The history of abuse by the planning department, and I've got documentation on it going back a long ways because I did help people somewhat effectively challenge the abuses of the planning department. And it ranged also from red tagging with penalties, people about their houses and property, to drive them off the property. And, oh, very strangely, the brother-in-law of a county supervisor at the time bought the property the little old lady was driven off of with red tags. That's happened more often than they would like to admit. In addition,
do you think that's what's going on here?
No, I'm just saying it's another. Well,
I mean, I don't think that, but who knows?
No. What prompted that is, in addition, the planning department excessive use of penalties on property owners. Mysteriously, magically appearing with their. And I've talked to their inspectors, some of who left because they were so disgusted with the infliction of abuse they were directed to inflict on people in order to generate money for the county government. There's the real problem. We have a spendthrift supervisors in part and county managers who spend money negligently, let's put it that way, and inefficiently, and so they come back for more and more money, and with tax increases, but also the planning department's abuses to just generate money rather than accommodate people a little bit. Lowell Webb, you know Lowell Webb, of course?
Sure.
Well, Lowell is a property owner, with his farm up the road.
Yeah, up Old San Jose Road, right?
Well, this is one of thousands of examples. Lowell installed, I believe it was a shed for his ducks or chickens on his huge farm. And they came after him years later because these guys drive around the county, these planning department enforcement inspectors. They drive around and they're told, find something. Okay. And then sometimes nasty neighbors will report people over the slightest of infractions. But in Lowell's case, they were driving by, they stopped in, and they hounded him over this this thing. He hadn't gotten a permit for it. He hadn't sited it far enough away from the highway.
Yeah.
Okay. Excessive abusive. It cost. Then they ended up.
What's your solution? Because I don't want to get bogged down, Terry, and there's a lot of other people who want to talk.
Sure. Okay. Well, let's have lunch, and I'll give you the.
Okay. All righty. Thank you.
But it should be fought.
Okay. Well, I don't have the energy to fight, and I'm too old, and I want to live a few more years and have a happy life, not a miserable life. Trying to be a good. What's the word? See, now I'm losing my vocabulary also over all this.
You should make this a cause célèbre to clean up the county's abuse.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Appreciate the call to 479-1080. That opens up a line. Here's Dick in Soquel. What's up, Dick?
How are you today? I shouldn't ask that question.
Yeah, don't ask.
Hey, back to the fees that the county charges. That goes back to Fred Keeley. You remember that name, I'm sure.
Yes.
He passed a law while he was running the assembly that said that, I think it said that agencies not only can, but they must charge enough to cover their costs.
Uh-huh.
That's a blank check.
Well, yeah, but that's for permit fees. I'm not talking about, I haven't even gotten to that yet. This is an enforcement fee. That's totally
additional
separate.
to that.
We haven't even talked about. I have no idea what the permit fees are gonna cost.
Well, no, an agency is an agency. If they spend money, you're going to pay it.
What I'm saying, do you understand what bothers Amy and what bothers me? Even though I have no one but myself to blame, because it clearly said, going forward, you are going to be expected to pay whatever we charge you for staff time. And I was an idiot. I was an idiot.
Are they paid by the city, county?
Yeah, and the taxpayers.
So what the time. So
The
we have to
extra
pay
time.
the cop to issue ticket, traffic issue to me.
Yeah.
2 hours, whatever. I never heard about that.
Well, that's the law.
Also,
and,
there's
and
a
I'm
law,
not
the
sure.
law. Law had to do processing. You not just say this is the law. What is that? You have a right. You have a right. Do you think we still have a right as a citizen of the United States?
No, and you've said that too.
Hey, one other comment.
Oh no, what you said is there's no free speech in the United States. That's what you've said. Excuse me, I didn't mean to mischaracterize what you said. But you asked me, and based upon the way I look at things now, the answer to your question is no. I don't-
For Constitution,
No.
guarantee us have a right. You always presume innocent, or
Yeah.
and until proven guilty. I get a traffic ticket, I can go to the court. I think it's not right, right?
Yeah.
So I have a right, but due processing. So you sign something is nothing, right? You just give away your law or
That's
your
what
right or
That's what I
anything.
apparently did, and like I said, I'm very mad.
You
at my-
know
very
you
angry at
signed or you
myself.
didn't know about what did you sign? Also, they specifically say something. They had to charge you the staff time or all kind of things. How much for this staff? How much for that staff? Did they
No,
specifically say that?
That was definitely
Let's say
not
you
in-
hire a lawyer, they will give you before you sign agreement and to pay, and then they will tell you how much they charge you an hour or minute
That's
or
true,
whatever,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Am I still there?
Yeah, you are. Sorry, Dick.
No, don't be. I realize how frustrating the county can be. But a couple other comments is one is, do you have any other beneficial use for that property, for that area?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's beautiful property, and if it was, I think it could be wonderful crashing surf luxury apartments. And I'm not interested in doing that. I'm too old for that.
Well, here's the point.
What is the point?
The point is you may have a takings case, and if you get a hold of Pacific Legal, I believe they're still in Sacramento or near there.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
They do wonderful work. I would encourage it, or at least ask the question.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Okay, appreciate your call to 479-1080. Here is, next caller, Sid in Salinas. Hey, Sid.
Hey, you ever be at a divided intersection, and a semi-truck in front of you, but you're trying to merge in, and that guy won't move and won't budge? That's what's waiting. Listen to these phone calls. Hey, you want a solution, MZ? You've got it. You already said it 3 or 4 times. Saw cut. Cut those into pavers. You've got underneath that is sand. So I guarantee you could excavate a little of that sand and saw cut them into pavers, turn it into pavers. It won't be a foundation. It won't be permanent. So you want to make some lemonade out of this. 60-pound jackhammer, if you got to get rid of this stuff, will tear that stuff up like nothing. But you don't need the jackhammer. Just cut it into pavers, loosen them, and then lay them down. And then that'll take care of the permanency of it, because the city and the county, it's all about the rules, remember?
Yeah.
So what you do is you beat them at their own game. Don't let this bug you. Get you a good diamond blade saw. Like I said, that stuff isn't poured deep. It ain't like you're parking cars on it. It's not intimidating at all to break out with a jackhammer. You might not even need it.
Another possibly foolish thing I did, because I like to go first cabin all the way, is made it 6-inch concrete that's reinforced with steel, even though there weren't going to be any vehicles on it. I just overbuilt, because I like to do things in quality, So, I appreciate your suggestion, but I don't know.
Yeah, you under excavate some of that sand and then cut it and break them out. And it being 6 inches with concrete, you got a problem with the rebar, no doubt about it. Yeah. But you can try to repurpose it, and if the worst comes to worst, concrete's cheap to throw away down in Gonzales at the landfill. You could throw away all of that for probably $20. It's just going to cost you the truck to get it down there.
Well, I've gotten a quote already to jackhammer, saw cut jackhammer and haul away. And it's from a good friend who is not going to gouge me, I'm sure. And the amount is the money is $30,000.
Yeah,
to
that's
do with that.
crazy. That's crazy because I just jackhammered on my job, and I ain't going to tell nobody where I work because I had the county down there on me. I took a couple cement, but yeah, I come up to $30,000. Everybody wants everything at this inflated, crazy price. And they want $40 an hour, and they're sitting around wondering why they're not working. And
Everybody's working. I know. You can't get anybody to work. The only way I could get somebody to work is because I'm a friend.
Did you hear the job report from Biden? He says everybody's inflated. What it is people are taking 2 and 3 jobs, and then they're acting like everybody's out there getting hired. It's these people that are trying to struggle. Nowadays in this life, they want to give you 6 weeks or 6 months off if you have a kid. Back when I was born, you had to work 2 jobs if you had a kid, and you wanted to support them. Now they want to be time off, sitting home doing their computer and charging $30,000 to move something. I could get 2 of my buddies out there with a wheelbarrow and a flatbed truck or a trailer pulled behind my pickup, and I could get rid of all that stuff. We got to do it for free. That's a joke, man.
Well, what about the cost to transport it and the gas and the trucks and everything?
It's a piece of cake. I'll do it by hand. I'll cut it up.
Okay, Sid, I've got your name and phone number. With your permission, I'm going to call you later. Okay.
You call me anytime. Right. I'll do it for free.
Wow. Well, I so much appreciate what people are saying here. But I want to deal with the underlying cancer, and I'm not talking about people. I'm talking about the laws that have been created.
Don't let them take your money.
Yeah.
Don't let them take your money. Get a guy like me to come out there and help you, and then you just tell them it's family. Like I used to do on tearing roofs off for people before they'd have the roofer come in. They'd charge them $15,000 to rip off a roof. I'd do it in 2 days, and I'd just say, if anybody said anything, just say I'm a family member. And then the city guy just go on with your ways. You gotta beat them at their own game. These people, they act like they have so much authority, but you can get. I mean, I had cases in my life where I had a lot of drinking problems in front of a judge, had to answer to do community service, this and that. One piece of paperwork's out of line when you go in front of the judge, they're gonna throw you in the can. So what I do is I just go to a place where it tell me where I had to do community work, and I'd get a piece of their manuscript and I'd sign on there, completed, send it in, and it'd be done with. Because you can't rely on anybody. You got to take care of stuff yourself. Dot your own I's, your T's, all that crud. Don't rely on people. Don't listen to these people. What are they going to do? They're not going to do nothing until you sell it.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, Sid. I didn't mean to get you all wound up like I've been for the last few days. So
I see what they do to everybody. I see what they do. I've seen what they've done. They continue to do. You got to fight them back. Beat them at their own game. They're not that smart.
Well,
listen to the comments that's coming out of our government. Look at the leadership. Look at the borders. Wonder why everybody's got monkeypox, monkey virus. How much people, look at the numbers, correlate it with what's coming into the country. The percentages tell me that people coming in here are bringing that. The numbers are small, but I bet you it's coming from people that are getting in here without any inoculation, without any paperwork, ever being had a shot. Don't know one thing about the United States, but they got the monkeypox. Where did it come from? We're in Ethiopia. That's where they say it came from. There's nobody coming in from over there.
Hey, Sid, thank you very much for calling 479-1080. I appreciate it. Here's Nicholas in Boulder Creek. Hey, Nicholas, you're on.
Hey there. So, I'm going to play devil's advocate.
Okay.
I know you like compliments, but you also like truth. Okay.
Yes.
So, I think you are on the right track of kind of like you're being held accountable to yourself of what you did wrong and what you did incorrect, and that is the most important thing that you're doing right here, because I believe honestly, Colonel Terry said one thing that I absolutely believed. Is that they do have these inspectors that drive around and look for things that are incorrect or not followed through. And so obviously somebody drove by your patio and said, oh, hey, this isn't compliance or this didn't get approved or whatever, okay? Mm-hmm. So now you dealing with them directly, kindly, and hopefully, without anything in litigation, is really gonna help, okay? Because listen, this is where I'm gonna kind of be the devil's advocate. You built on a lagoon, right? And a lagoon
near a lagoon.
And that lagoon is a waterway to the Pacific Ocean.
Correct? Yep.
Okay. So, if they want to be mean to you, they honestly they've opened Pandora's box for you, because honestly, at that point when you're building on something like a waterway, wouldn't you need EPA and?
I'm on built on just within 100 feet.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, they can pass it on to something on the state level or the federal level, and say, oh, it's out of our hands.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so that's why I say what you're doing, where you're playing softball with them, is amazing. Talk to your local person. Do what you're doing, Michael, and hopefully the Pandora's box does not get open. Because, as I said, you could go into the state and the federal violations because of the location and the proximity.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah. Were you listening to KSCO a few years ago when we got fined $50,000 for protecting our transmitter?
I heard about that. I moved here 4 years ago, and I met you in the parking lot the day I told you looked like a homeless guy with a beard.
I did look like a homeless guy with a beard.
And I didn't realize you were the station owner that day. I'm Matt Nick. So, but yeah, short story long, all these guys talking about the government screwing you and this, and that, and the other. I don't think they're personally screwing you.
I've said that multiple times during this broadcast, Nick.
Yeah, and that's where I agree with you. I absolutely agree with what you're doing, and keep doing what you're doing, because if like these people say, oh, the government the government's just doing their job, like you said.
That's right.
So let them also
the
do
job that the government is doing in this case is stupid.
Oh, it's way stupid. But hopefully your local representative really can help you. And like you said, get 2 or 3 on board, maybe get a hold of a couple more. And I love the way you're handling this, because anything
Bruce McPherson, who's also on the board, he's not my, he's the 5th district supervisor, and Manu is the 1st district supervisor. But Bruce, I think, likes KSCO, loves KSCO. It's his family started it, back in 1947,
Remember this, Michael. Always remember this. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law, because you also, podcast your show. So, yeah. And I think that what you have said has been very important, and I think what you've said is very correct. And you have not been damaging to them. You have not, besmirched them.
I want to cooperate with them, but they need to be reasonable. That's all.
And I think that this show really shows the support, and I believe you will get the support from the other 2 councilmen, because you are being very, very correct and kind about it. You're not going at it sideways, and you have assumed all responsibility. And that right there is the key to all of this. You're not saying, this is your fault. You said this is my fault. And I
kid around. I kid. People who know my personality, they know that, like Amy in particular. How many times do I say to Amy, you know me, Amy, I never accept personal responsibility for anything. I always look around for someone else, for other people to blame. Have I said that to you?
Yeah, that's
many times. And of course it's a joke, and I think people know my odd sense of humor.
And you have always said that on the radio, just like, you only like compliments. I mean, come on, we know it's tongue in cheek, and we understand your humor. And we love
But one thing I am adamant about, that I'm not joking when I say we don't allow stupid people to listen to KSCO. And that's why we have the most intelligent audience there is, because we enforce that rule.
Exactly.
If we catch stupid people listening to this station, there are severe consequences.
And
Amy, did you tell me recently never to say that on the air?
Yeah. It's not politically correct.
Oh. Okay.
All right. Well, you guys have a great morning. I'm so sorry this is happening to you.
Thank you, Nicholas.
Remember MJ?
I hope it doesn't kill me. I decided to do this show because, I don't know, if I didn't do the show, it would stress me more.
Okay.
Because this needs to be said. It really does.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
One last thing. Do you remember when I very first moved here, I always thought you were MJ, and I would always call you MJ, and you're like, it's MZ.
Somehow that
All right,
that
sir.
didn't kill me, but this might. Appreciate it, Nicholas. Have a good one. Here's Steve in Belmont, our good buddy Steve. Hi, Steve.
Hi. Sorry about the problem you're having there, but you got to remember you're fighting evil because the government obviously has been taken over by evil like most governments. And when you fight them, you got to remember they are working for evil. Not everybody working for the government is evil, but they are working for evil people. They purposely want to cause harm. They want to torture people. Obviously, they're they're predators. And you just have to remember that when you're fighting them. And also, you got to remember they're going along with the system. Okay, so not necessarily the people working there are evil. I'm sure a lot of them are, but still, it's a system, and you have to work within the system.
Right. Okay, yeah, and we're going to try to do that. But if it becomes, I feel like I've fallen into a black hole where I am totally at the mercy of and I'm not blaming anybody but me. Again, I signed that stipulation that clearly said they have the right to bill me whatever the hell they want forever. And I'm
sure
stupid for signing that, but I signed it.
I'm sure they do that. I'm sure they do that to everybody. Just like when you sign stuff away when you get a cell phone contract and stuff. I mean, who looks at everything and everything? But it's a trick. They do that to everybody, and basically, you got trapped, and they do that to everybody because they can. And basically, you're a victim, and I don't think you should blame yourself for being a victim. But
sure, I should. Again, I should be smarter than that. I really should.
Well, yeah, but still, you got to understand they do this to everybody. I'm pretty sure. So you got to remember, you've basically fell into their trap, and now you have to figure out how to dig your way out the best way you can.
Okay, well, that's what we're going to try to do, and hopefully the other side will be cooperative. Thank you, Steve. Here's Johnson in Aptos. We might have to hold you over, Johnson, because we only have a minute and a half, but you're on now.
Oh, well, great. First of all, I think that building that you have down there, including your tower, is really an iconic Santa Cruz location building. It's almost like it's something akin to the iconic nature of the boardwalk.
Okay.
I've been in your studio before. Who was that reporter you had that worked for you for years and years and years? I did an interview with him down there. He had a...
Dick Little?
Dick Little, yeah.
Yeah.
I did an interview with Dick Little, and people that haven't been inside that building don't realize how classic it is. It really
it's
is.
Amazing. It's amazing. And we're the only operating radio station in a building that was designed to RCA, Radio Corporation of America standards, with our live wall for live music and so forth. It's amazing, and there's nobody left that's doing that. There's one more studio somewhere in the world, but it's not an operating radio station. I don't know if it's a museum or if it's just gathering dust or whatever.
Yeah, great.
Should we hold? We'll hold you over if you'd like, but we're right at the top of the hour. Okay.
It is looking clear, near, or at the limit. Little bit of a slowdown at the Soledad exit, and that's in the northbound lane. Current temperature outside the KSCO studio is 69 degrees. Today's going to be mostly sunny with a high near 74 tonight. Patchy fog after 5 a.m., low of 57. Tomorrow, partly sunny, then becoming sunny, high near 77. Tomorrow night, low of 57. And Monday through Friday, looks like it's going to be sunny in the 70s. On the seas right now, there's a small craft advisory in effect from Sunday afternoon through Sunday evening. Today, west winds 5 to 10 knots, increasing to 15 to 20 knots with gusts up to 25 knots this afternoon. Wind waves 2 to 3 feet. Southwest swells around 2 feet at 13 seconds. Tonight, west winds 15 to 20 knots with gusts up to 25 knots. Wind waves 2 to 3 feet. South swells around 2 feet at 13 seconds. KSCO News Talk time is now 11:06, and we take you back to the Saturday Special with your host, MZ.
And I want to thank our two fabulous restaurant sponsors, and that is Casa Rosita's just down the road from KSCO at the corner of 26th and Portola. Fabulous Mexican food, the best there is. And our other longtime KSCO sponsor, Ella's at the Airport, under new ownership and management. And that's at the airport, as the name implies. And they have really great food. Be sure to go in and tell them MZ sent you to both of these restaurants and thank them for sponsoring the Saturday special. Okay, let's a lot of emails to read, a lot of phone calls to get to, but we have to start it officially.
Oh, hello, darling. I hate to hang up on you, but I'm sorry, baby, but I have to go. It's time for that wonderful record show. I'd love to visit, but you'll have to call back. KSCO has the inside track.
Okay, we've done the first hour on a little problem we have here at the radio station, and we're going to continue it the second hour because a lot of people haven't spoken.
I'm sorry, baby, but I really gotta go to KSCO Radio. Bye.
Okay, I think we were in the middle of a conversation with, who was, oh, Johnson and Aptos. Johnson, did we finish? I don't think we did. You had something else to say,
no,
right?
I just real quick, and before I hang up, I want to just play devil's advocate and suggest what the county, where the county may be coming from. But I was going to, that first workaround about sawing up and making pavers, that's clever. I don't think it will work. You could cut that concrete and the rebar, no problem, but that guy's a creative thinker. Here's another suggestion for a workaround. Is there any way that you could do a restoration or an improvement on the ecology there to...
I think that's exactly what we've done already.
Well,
but
maybe you could
it flies in the face of the law, apparently. So,
if you could, maybe if you suggested that you would make improvements in lieu of destroying that beautiful patio, maybe they might go for it. If they're pretty environmentally, active. There.
Sure, I'd be willing to do that. I've let the supervisors know. I've let the planners themselves know that I'm a deal maker, not a deal killer. I don't want to. I want to cooperate, but I don't want to cooperate with idiocy.
Come up with a good design, and the listeners of the radio station could help finance it. It'd be like they built that tunnel under Highway 17.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be a tunnel. It'd be kind of, I think it'd just be an improvement. But here's what the county why the county is coming down on you so hard. First of all, Michael, if that building wasn't there, if there was nothing built there right now, would they ever let anything else be built there?
I don't believe so. I don't know. I really don't know.
And I would think that as the owner, here's what the county may be thinking. As the owner of that station, I would think that building and the property must be under some type of special zoning because it is so close to that lagoon and so close.
Yeah, that's probably what's going on here. I wouldn't be a bit surprised. One consideration that's been pointed out to me by some people is that we are a federally licensed radio station, for the public interest, and we've been here since 1947. And the buildings and anything that we have done to the property is part of the property that has been here and should really be grandfathered in. So I don't know if I took that approach or something. I'm just tired, gang. I'm just tired. I don't have any energy. I want to enjoy what's left of my life.
Have you never had the problem of trying to do something to the building and come up with this with the idea that it's a kind of a grandfathered property? It's in a very environmentally sensitive place. That never came up before on anything you ever did.
it always comes up on everything you do, you know, and I haven't done that much in 20 years. You know, before that I built a house and you know, some other stuff. I did minor land divisions and stuff, all getting the necessary permits. Anyhow,
I would suggest that making some type of environmentally project down there and do a workaround that way. I think it might work.
Fine. I think it'd make a great official bird sanctuary. You know,
sure.
Because I think it's wonderful. I wouldn't ever want. I objected to the fact that they wanted to make this a historic landmark of some sort in the 90s. And they did it, even though I would never. I know. It's sacrilege. It would be sacrilege to bulldoze or do anything to this building because it's so historic. But I don't think the government should, in a supposedly free ownership of property and a country, should have the right to tell people, hey, you can't do this, even though it's your property. Anyhow.
Well, the problem is you're so close. You're in a place where that building was grandfathered in. It wouldn't be able to be built today, and it's in a very sensitive environmental place, and that's why. You have things like the Coastal Commission and these other agencies that are protecting the coastal access to the beach. You know, if it wasn't for the things like the Coastal Commission and stuff like that, there would be places in Santa Cruz where you could not get to the beach because you'd be crossing through people's property. But they changed the law and they said, no, you have to make it.
1972, I think it was. Anyhow, thank you for calling, Johnson. Appreciate your input. Thank you very much. Here, got a whole bunch of emails to read, but I want to read this one from Malcolm Park. It says, hello, Michael. Building without permits and not inquiring if permits might be required has consequences. Now you are asking that you not be held accountable to those consequences. This is not how it works. If you are not willing to fight the case to reach a compromise solution with the county, then you must quit. But please stop complaining. You admit to being responsible for placing yourself in this position. Find the money and energy to fight it or quit. Those are your options, and that was sent by Malcolm Park. What did you say, Amy?
You probably choose quit because you're too old for that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Malcolm, he's got
That's
a point.
your choice.
Can't argue with him. But do other people think I'm, what did he say, complaining? I guess I am complaining. I guess this is a whole 2-hour show of complaining. Mm-hmm. I guess. Do other people agree that I should not complain? Because if they do, I won't. I don't like people who bitch and bitch and bitch.
So you say that you
but
don't
I like to
complain,
think that I
you
do
just
some
quit.
good for this
So
community.
you choose for quit. So they want you quit or they want you complaining or fight.
Well, can't I not quit and complain?
Able to. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So you had to have.
No, Malcolm could have a very good point here, you know. So, all right. There are a bunch of other emails that I should. Why don't I read some of them and then we'll go back to the phones, okay? Because we might forget. Let's see. I want to read the ones that make sense here. And I don't care if they're for me or against me. Let's get this handled. Someone named Chris Wilson says, hey, MZ, let's get a movement going. Call on your listeners in a civil manner to call all the county folks and get the waiver passed. You paid your fine. This needs to be resolved. Really stupid idea, plus bad for the environment to tear out the concrete. Keep your sanity. Okay, thank you, Chris Wilson. Let's see. Zach Hawkins says, MZ, the county is, in my opinion, extorting you to make you sign a paper that allows unlimited employees from the county. Assessing the patio is crazy. KSCO has existed long before the riparian zone. To make you feel better, I know people that are building a home in the coastal zone and have paid possibly close to many thousands of dollars just to have the privilege. Please don't pull the plug. I love KSCO. If you need a volunteer for labor, call me. Zach Hawkins. And it gives Zach's phone number. Thank you, Zach. Couple of things. I have not paid a fine yet. I'm willing to pay a fine because I did something without a permit. Other thing it doesn't make me feel better that people are building a home in the coastal zone, in quotes, and have paid close to many, many thousands of dollars just to have that privilege. And I appreciate that you're willing to volunteer for labor. But guess what I've learned in the last couple of years? It is illegal for me to accept any free labor. And I will become a felon, not able to vote or have a firearm or anything
By
that you can't do with it.
California labor law.
But yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so even if you want to help KSCO with your labor, if I accept it, I'm dead. Okay? Because I've already had my fingers slapped for that, you know. And why I want everybody who's listening now to just put themselves in my position. Okay? You're not allowed to accept free labor from people who want to volunteer. If you do, you're going to become a felon. Okay? And you're going to become a criminal. You might be thrown in jail or prison. Okay? What would you do if you were me? Obviously not do those things that are illegal. But would you continue to want to even be in business or want to even live in a country that has laws like that? It sounds just as bad as what Amy escaped 40 years ago.
So what about the donation? So the donation, the money, and the donation labor is different?
Apparently.
You cannot accept any donation?
I think if this were a non-profit instead of a for-profit corporation, I think the rules are different. I think you can volunteer. But
so cannot accept any donation also?
They didn't say that, no, but we certainly
can. So you can donate lots of things. You can donate cash. You can donate labor. You can donate any tangible, intangible
Not labor,
things.
not in California, not anymore.
Really?
You know that, Amy.
No. Donation, they are lots. I don't know, not the definition of
I
that.
don't know. Not
by
cash
law, by
donations.
California law, I'm not sure about that.
By California law, what I understand
So
is,
no
that if you're a for-profit company, you may not accept volunteers that are not paid the minimum wage or the minimum salary. Okay? That's it. Why do I do this? Why do I do this? Why do I do this?
So what else you can do?
Enjoy life. That's what I'd like to do. Not hate life because of the government. Kurt in Santa Cruz, you're on the air.
Hey, you may not like what I have to say, but I'm an architect, and I've been working with Santa Cruz County for 30 years. So let me ask you, are you in trouble because you don't have enough impervious area and you got caught by environmental planning or something in a red tag?
You know, I don't even know the answer to that question, Kurt. All I know is that I'm in trouble.
Yeah. Okay. So you put in a slab, and you got called by somebody came to the county and they came out and
no, they said there was a complaint and they wouldn't tell me who the complaint was by.
Okay. Yeah. Who cares about that? Okay. Anyway, so you got caught, and then you did a survey to verify the location of the property.
Which was one of the things that was required in that stipulation that also was essentially a blank check, that I foolishly signed.
Okay, so are they saying you need to provide more impervious area on the property?
No, they just said no, they didn't accept the surveyor's report because they didn't, I guess they didn't agree with what the surveyor said.
Because every project, I mean, here's the thing, and let me just kind of an overview. So you're in Santa Cruz County. You're in the coastal area, which is super high.
Yes, that's true.
Issues with environmental planning, right? and they have all these special laws on the books about site coverage, stuff like that, riparian corridors and stuff like that, that everybody has to deal with. Unfortunately, you got caught putting something in, but you probably should have, or you should have gone or find out from the county, what's the current zoning, what are my requirements. You know, you have a highly desirable property, and usually, like, if I would think on a project like yours, and I've been to your property, you know, they have lot coverage, they have all these conformance guidelines that you have to meet, and most people doing any development in Santa Cruz County have to do that. So I'm listening to you, and I'm like, yeah, you got caught, but most people, I mean, just like when you do
I have to jump in and say I got caught. You say I got caught, and you said it 3 or 4 times during this call.
Yeah.
I don't think I got caught because I didn't think I did anything wrong. Now, so don't say I got caught.
I remember you said that concrete people say you don't need a permit.
Yes, even the concrete contractor people who could lose their license if they did. So you said you do not need a permit.
A permit?
Yes.
Okay,
So please stop saying I got caught, because I didn't get caught.
Then.
I didn't do anything wrong, I thought. Now, maybe I was wrong about that.
Michael, you need to calm down. But, okay.
I have to stop you when you're saying things that are not true, Kurt.
Okay. So if you're going based on the concrete subcontractor, that no permit was required, I would go back to them and go, what did you base that on? So if they go, well, we talked to the county and they said you're allowed to go up to this without a permit, then that's the direction I would go. So, but usually they're on every project in the state of California, there's requirements on how much site coverage you can have, how much pervious versus impervious surface you can have.
Yeah.
And it's all dictated, unfortunately, by the California state stormwater guidelines. And so, and I have to deal with this in the county, in the city, in Capitola. They all have standards. And like you said, the employees there aren't trying to be hard asses. They're just trying to do their job.
Yeah.
So I would
I hope
back.
I hope I've established that I'm not attacking anybody any more than they're attacking me personally. They're not.
Right. No, but here's what I would say also is, you know, in my practicing over 30 years, you know, we have the California building codes, we have California zoning ordinances, all these things, and unfortunately, people do things to their property without any thought of, because they're like, hey, it's my property. And it is. But unfortunately, like someday they're going to want to sell it for $1 zillion. And then the whole system is trying to, for example, like this isn't your issue, but you buy property back in, you know, up in the Santa Cruz Mountains and there's a road, there's no road associated. Who's going to maintain that road? There's all these things that they're trying to infill and fix, right? Because it used to be $100,000 cabin, now it's $3 million or something. So, what I'm saying is, people should find out some basics about their property, and the county will tell you the zoning.
You're right. I should do that. If you can get a straight answer,
So right now, put the fence. Also, you had to have a permit. I never heard about that. You put a fence.
Yeah, that happened a few years ago. We put a fence in to protect our property from homeless people.
Had to have a permit.
And from other
I
people.
never heard about that.
And someone called. I know exactly who it was. Someone who didn't like the fence. They liked looking at the poison oak instead. And that caused grief for us, but it was easy to deal with. It cost a $600 permit for the fence, paid in arrears. Yeah, you didn't know
you
that?
have to have a permit? No, I never heard about that.
Yes.
I just wanted to,
here you do.
How about the fence? You're already there. You just replace.
Well, okay, and there's zoning guidelines. You know, I mean, unfortunately, Santa Cruz County is super high regulated. I mean, like I deal with stuff over the hill where it's much more straightforward. But I live in Santa Cruz.
You can get a straight answer. Okay, Kurt, thank you very
and,
much.
you know,
I
Yeah.
appreciate it. We got so many callers. I want to get to them here, but thank you very much for calling. Okay, we appreciate it. Jerry at Costco, little hard to hear.
Yeah. I'm driving towards the radio station. Is there any way I could talk to you?
Well, you're talking to me and all the listeners and Amy and David now.
Okay, well, I drove by you when you were pulling up today with Amy.
Okay.
I was in the parking lot when you were dropping her off when you came up.
Okay.
And I used to be Richard Quigley's chaplain.
Oh, wow. Wow,
And
what
do
a
you
great
remember
guy he
when-
was.
Yeah, what do you think he would say right now?
Jeez. I hadn't thought
Well,
of
that's
that.
what I'd like to talk to you about.
Okay.
I don't want to expose myself to everybody, and I don't know that you need to be.
Oh, yeah.
You remember when Kim Allen got sent down to your radio station to threaten it?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And you don't feel like you've come under pressure. I think you signed something in duress, and I don't think they have any way to hold it up.
That's what a number of people have said, so we'll see.
Well, I'd like to go with you what I think. Do you know how Richard held off the planning department forever? I'd like to share those secrets.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to you, okay? Yeah, so come on down.
Well, I'm headed down to the radio station. How about we take a couple of minutes when you're done?
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you very much, Jerry. Okay,
All right,
appreciate
bye.
it. Here's Nick in Live Oak. Hi, Nick. You're on the air.
Werelux. MZ, would you consider calling Dean Sutton show?
Dean knows all about this, and he's been working with me, and
Yeah, I figured that.
Yeah.
It's likewise that they have you cut it up and stuff because just sawing it is just like scratching your fingers on a chalkboard.
yeah.
I mean, it's a racket that just jackhammer it, and that's their full approval.
Right.
So you haven't heard from the Coastal Commission at all.
No.
I think I'm glad you shouldn't, but it's just an awful situation. You can't even get. That's why I volunteered to clean the garbage cans, clean them all out, and Rosie tossed me out. That's why you cannot take volunteers.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously? Wow.
Yeah.
You would have had spanking clean garbage.
Yeah. Yep. So every little new thing that I find out about the law that I have unknowingly violated makes me say, why the bleep am I doing this? It certainly doesn't create any joy for me, you know. Anyhow, Nick, thanks for calling. Appreciate it. Here's Johnny, and I don't know where you are, Johnny, but.
Well, yeah, always good to talk with you, MZ. I've got your solution. It's actually pretty simple and pretty straightforward.
Okay.
You're in the matrix, and you have to understand that. This is what we do for a living. We do buildings. I emailed you. I gave you the arborist and a fire captain. He's David Jones, former fire captain for Pebble Beach.
Okay.
And now for Google. He can get a variance for you. And these guys are all experts. All you now need is a group of experts, and these people know who you are. I'll contact them. And since you would have to pay them, they'd probably do it for $1, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If we got to play by the rules, but what you now have to do is you have to out-expert them, and that's how you're going to win. We do this all the time. You have to always play by the rules. You're now in there. Now the question is solution. And the best way is, Captain Jones, to say you need that. With all the wildfires, if that poison oak marsh caught fire, that concrete becomes a defensible perimeter.
Right.
That protects the state.
Well, they're allowing me to have 3 feet remain, and that's
3 feet won't work.
that's
3 feet
better
won't
than nothing. You know, it's better than. At least they didn't come and say you got to jackhammer everything. They said I can have a 3-foot walkway. I asked for a 5 or 6, and they said no, you can have 3.
The key is
I can have. There's an arbitrary. There's an element of arbitrariness to it. The whole thing, according to them, is illegal because it encroaches, within the 100 feet from the lagoon.
There were variants, though.
And so yeah, and so can't they be arbitrary for a few more feet if they can be arbitrary for 3?
They
I don't
can
know.
give a variance. Yes, they can. They can give a
Fine,
variance.
and they've encouraged me, or no, excuse me, they've strongly discouraged me in writing. They've basically, an environmental, geez, I forget the guy's name, Matt something or other, sent me an email that I haven't slept since I got that email last Wednesday. I thought everything was going in the right direction, where everybody was going to have smiles on her face, but then this guy from environmental something or other,
Yeah, he said
that I never heard.
You cannot get away from that.
He said, "There's no
impossible,
way it's impossible for you to get what you want, and if you're dreaming and you're going to spend so much money, you're going to piss." Wait. He didn't use the word piss. That's my language, but you're going to spend so much more money going after what is impossible for you to get. You're way ahead dealing with us with the blank check. He didn't use that term either, but that's my term, and I'm not sure I believe that. I think 3 supervisors can have the right to say you don't have to jackhammer any of that beautiful public asset that protects the lagoon. It doesn't harm it away.
But that's why you need like you would need Captain Jones. You get the experts on your side, and those guys, it's them versus you, and it's the way it always is when you're building. It's one of the stupidest things, because you obviously built before. When you're building projects now, you want to talk about stupid fees, Michael. There's a thing called the school district fees. It's all based on square footage. We just finished a project with $70,000 in school district fees, and we were over $200,000 just in permits.
Wow!
And we didn't even build anything yet. But this is how insane it's gotten. I totally agree with you. We can help you by the rules. You have to play by the rules. And once you're in, like you are, we got to find solutions, right? There's nothing you can do about it now. How do we figure the best way out that's the least cause of harm for you? It becomes one of those damage control at that point.
Yeah.
How do we get you back out? And the supervisors, that's what I'm saying. We get you the experts, but they'll sign all the paperwork. They're going to have to listen to them. And so it's going to be your experts versus the other guy's opinion. Like you said, it is all arbitrary.
Yeah.
But you need the ammunition with which to get into these guys. It's not MD. It's these experts, not you. It's got nothing to do with you now.
Well,
now
that didn't work before with the surveyor. They didn't like what the surveyor said, and he's professionally licensed, and it was a wet stamp and everything. They didn't like what he said.
They didn't specifically say what they don't like.
We go to all full council. We go to all full council all the time. I've had Mayor of San Jose Licardo sign off on our stuff. But once you do, you try to work with them. But you're totally correct. But you want to give your guys on your side that want to support you at the county the ammunition with which to go. IMSI's got the guys over here. So then they have a plausible thing that they can hang their hat on. They go, well, these experts think it's okay, and that seems reasonable for your property. And a lot of times it's a variance too you have to get. But you work with these people. You don't. Because you know what they can do. They can make your life miserable. And they've done it to us plenty of times. And we've built a lot of stuff in Santa Cruz. And it's a pain in the hiney. And the craziest thing about the riparian zone, there's homeless in all those zones now. So here they are harassing you. And on all the creeks and the waterways in Santa Cruz, there's homeless living in them.
That's right.
They don't seem to care about that.
Yeah.
If there's any way we can help you, because, you are a public
Thank you, Johnny. I got your
community.
emails. I can't remember whether you left your phone number there, but I see your phone number that you're calling from now. So
yeah,
appreciate it very much.
Anything we can do to help you. Anything we can do.
Thank you, my friend. Appreciate
You got
it
it.
very much. You too. Bye. Jim and Soquel, you're on the Saturday special with Amy and MZ.
Yes, you're in an all or nothing situation, and since you've already indicated a willingness to comply partially by saying that they're just doing their job, et cetera, I would suggest that if you choose not to fight, that you comply totally. Now, you have a complainer who you don't know it is. It's probably someone like Billy Sunshine. If you fired Charlie and give Billy Sunshine that show, he would probably withdraw his complaint, and then you could comply totally instead of just taking off what they require or what at this point. Just take the whole thing away, and they'll be happy for a while, and then you can sleep well.
Well, interesting suggestions here, Jim. I don't think that Billy Sunshine is a guy that would do such a thing. His politics are different from mine, but we have a mutual respect for each other in that regard. So what did you say? Just did you?
Yeah, just comply totally. Go beyond their current requirements because they
You can't
change their
because
mind.
you can't because I can't. It's a black hole. It's a blank check. There's no way they can or will tell you what it's going to cost. It could end up costing more than the property's worth. It could end up costing more than the radio license is worth. See what I'm saying?
That's why you show your compliance by jackhammering the whole patio and taking it out, and then they'll leave you alone for a while. You see, what you must understand is not only must you comply, but you must be happy that you complied.
Now, Jim, listen, this is radio, and I can't see you. Do you have your tongue in your cheek? Are you being serious? Are you playing with me?
No, you should read some literature. You should read Orwell's 1984.
Oh, I've read it from cover. It's one of the few books I've read,
Excellent. Then you understand that you must be not only compliant, but happy and joyful to comply.
How do you do that?
Talk closer to them.
How do you do that? Be happy.
Oh, it's easy. You can convince yourself to be happy.
How?
Just
I
say,
wish you can convince
just say, I
MZ
am,
be happy. That's good. I cannot.
Just say to
convince him to
yourself,
be happy for that.
just say to yourself that I was wrong all along, and now I understand my error and my ways.
You mean like Amy has said that about the communists in China?
Yeah. So they make me say that, but I never be happy. But I say, forced slave, put a gun in your head.
You said bleep you, I'm
that?
leaving. You said bleep you, I'm leaving, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's what I feel like saying. I really do. And if I leave, I mean, I'd love for someone else to take over KSCO and do what I do, but they'd be an idiot. They'd be an idiot to deal with this. You perform a wonderful service for the community, keeping it safe during periods of disaster, and you're treated this way? Even a billionaire wouldn't do that for a toy.
Well, you see,
only an idiot like Michael Zwerling would continue to do that for years and years and years and years.
You see, you're fighting it, and if you don't fight it all the way with every fiber in your body, if you're going to comply part of the way, then you must comply all of the way, and you must also, in your soul and your mind, realize that they are doing you a favor and that you were wrong all along, and be happy and joyful in your compliance.
Amy is saying cut this caller off because he makes no sense. Is that right?
No, you complain something you did wrong. If you done wrong, why you accept it? I don't understand that. I never accept which I didn't do anything wrong.
Oh,
I accepted what I did wrong, but I don't want to happy somebody to accept. I don't understand.
That's why I think Jim is playing with us. Anyhow, thanks, Jim, for calling 479-1080. Buster in Santa Cruz, you're on.
Hey, MG, I feel bad for you, but listen, don't take it personal, because
That's easy for you to say.
Yeah,
it's not your fortune dissolving in blank checks, in the form of blank checks.
No, I understand that, Bud, but what I want to say to you is this is par for the course out here. We're swimming with sharks. Everybody wants a piece of this action out here in Santa Cruz. MG, keep in mind, you have an incredible piece of property with an incredible studio. I had to tour the place. I was blown away. The acoustics, all the old equipment, my God. Are you going to tell me somebody's not trying to snag that property? I'd love to know who complained. To me...
Well, they won't tell you. No. You do not have a right to confront your accuser.
Yeah, but another
not when
thing,
the planning department is involved.
Another thing, I think there's much more to it than you can think about this. you're a primarily conservative station. There's a lot of left-wingers out here that love to stir the pot. We're surrounded by them. So I don't want you feeling bad. Just think of this. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going.
Okay.
Right.
Well, thank
All right.
you. Thank you, Buster. Here's George in Live Oak.
And giving them, he said, a dumb, weak, black president as the worst president ever in our history.
Oh, wow. I sort of recognize that. Anyhow, thank you, George. Here's Billy Sunshine.
Z.
Billy. Hi, Billy.
Hi, buddy. So first of all, remember the white powder incident?
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't do that either.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody said I did at the time.
Everybody accuses Billy because a lot of the conservatives hate Billy. They love to hate him.
Yeah, and I love them hating, so that's good. But you understand who you and I are. And here's the thing. I'm not going to talk about the property issue. I'll say this. First of all, KSCO is a great community service, absolutely. The thing that concerns me is the way this is affecting you. See, if it's ultimately, when you come right down to it, at the end, it's going to be about money. Something we both have enough of. We should never let money cause us physical pain. You're losing sleep over this? That's no good, my friend. You can't let that be the way this goes.
It's not the money. Well, believe me, Rush Limbaugh said, when people say it's not the money, believe me, it's the money.
By the way, good invitation.
I don't think that.
What is?
I don't think it's because of money. It's a paying of the money. It's not.
Well, no, it's not just
it's part of what's the purpose you live, right? Yeah. You don't wanna becoming the one have, accept any injustice.
Right? No, nobody wants to accept injustice, but sometimes you just look at the reality of the situation and you go, you know what? I don't need this to be like Z is saying. He doesn't need this to be in his life to hurt him this way, and that's what I'm talking about. And the only person that can stop it from hurting you is you. How you take it.
By pulling the plug. That'll do it.
No,
sure.
don't pull the plug. Pull the plug.
Once for all.
Don't pull the plug. Just get some. Do you have a therapist?
See, now, here I was thinking you really cared about me personally, Bill.
I do.
And then I'm going to say the way to do it is to pull the plug. Oh, no, don't pull the plug because you know that there's nobody who would keep
right.
this place running like me.
That's right.
Nobody.
This is you.
So he rather you die instead of.
So did you hear what Amy said? You'd rather I die rather than pull the plug of the radio station.
No,
that's what Amy just said. I'm going to shut up.
Anyway.
I'm going to shut up and let you and Amy talk.
What is difference? You pull the plug or you die. You die, you pull the plug. So that's it. End of the story.
Hey,
that's what I say. I don't have nothing more to say.
Amy, what do you want him to do?
I don't want him to live. I don't want him to die because there's too much stress. When you feel the stress will kill you, stress will kill you. That's for sure. I told them 2 or 3 people recently, about 2 weeks prior to their death. I say stress kill you, and they die in 2 weeks.
One of them was a guest on this program.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Doctor.
Not even 60 years old.
Doctor.
57 years old.
Who was that? The podiatrist, Doctor
Blasco.
Doctor Magdalena Blasco, and Amy knew that she was going through terrible stress, and she said, "You need to pull that stress from your life, or you will die." And a month and a half later, she was dead.
Yeah.
So I want to deal with those words. You use the thing. You start saying it's killing me. Saying that is a message to your body that it is killing you. You need to stop thinking and talking that way. You need to reform how you meet this challenge.
Not everybody can do
let it get to you physically, my love. Come on.
Only unless you disconnect it with the reality.
You could always walk away. That's all. If you can't.
You feel that stress kill you. You had to disconnect with the realities. You had to.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
yeah,
you're
you
gonna
have to walk
die.
away, walk
That's
away.
for sure. Believe me, okay?
Yeah, I do.
Michael.
Yeah.
Breathe. Do you have a therapist, Michael?
No.
It's time for one.
They're
isn't it?
crazier than I am.
Yes, they are. No, it's the truth. But they actually can help some of them.
Yeah.
But that's why they go into the business, because they're crazy and they're trying to figure themselves out. But that doesn't mean it's not a good idea.
You don't need that.
And
Amy,
you're
wasting time and
Amy's
money.
my therapist, and she's the
You don't
best.
need that.
Yeah,
You don't need that. All you need is just cut it off. That's it.
Cut it off.
Yeah, cut it off.
Cut it out.
That's
Cut it
what
out.
I did.
Cutting out a cancer.
Yeah, cut it off.
Well, we did that with Georgia, didn't we? And oh, by the way, before I go, one other thing we managed to dump, which was smart, was Alex Jones.
Oh, yeah. Did you hear on the news what happened to him today? Or yesterday, I guess?
It's not over. He's also got perjury he's looking at. So, I did the ultimate thing you should never do when I was working on the radio station, which was I said, don't ever listen to Alex Jones. You're not supposed to say that on the radio station. Don't listen to a program that's on my same thing. But I said it because I had to. What he was saying about those children was so horrible. I'm proud of what I did. I was proud of getting rid of Georgia. I was proud to help you get rid of Alex Jones. And look where he's ended up. Look where he's ended up. Oh, boy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Bill. Appreciate your comments here. Tony and Live Oak, you're on.
Hi, MZ. Yeah, you remember the phrase, not with a bang, but a whimper?
Yeah.
That was in some poetry that I think is more significant now than ever. I've changed, I've named all radio stations either bang stations or whimper stations. And you are the only person I know who has 2 hours of bang radio. And I'll leave it to you to decide what the rest of it is.
Oh.
Because you're not talking about the same things that Dane Wigington is. He says the world's going to end in a couple of years, so everything we're worried about now is going to be irrelevant. So, I'm a civil engineer, and I know how to solve your problem. It's a matter of the science of materials. The same stuff that you used and put into a riparian quarter violation is the same stuff they're using as riprap all around the harbor. Concrete. It can't hurt the environment. So I would have them prove to me that you're doing any damage at all, or there'll be any damage in the next 2,000 years from what you've done.
Uh-huh.
That's my solution to the problem. And I used to be a building inspector for 9 years, so I know exactly what you're speaking about, and I know that the county's been, using power illegally to me. And after I quit, I got reg tagged myself for buying a big earth mover and cutting myself some parking plates into the side of a hill because we had no parking places. So, I've had all the experiences you're having, but I don't think you should worry. I think you should make them prove that you've done any damage to the environment or what you've done would do any damage in the next 1,000 years.
Okay. Thank you, Tony. Take care. Here's Mary in Aromas. Hi, Mary.
Hello, Amy. Hello, Michael.
Oh.
Michael, what would your mother do? She wouldn't want you to suffer and be unhappy like you are. Just think about it.
Okay.
Your mom is with you.
Yeah.
Always.
That's what she said. Yeah, that's true.
I loved her dearly.
Yeah. So do I. Well, yeah, I got to think about that, huh? Amy didn't.
Yes.
Amy didn't meet Mom, but she's heard a lot of her
Always,
commentaries.
always.
Yeah.
Remember, your mom's right there.
Right. Exactly. Well, thank you.
All
That's
right,
very sweet.
sweetheart.
Okay, thank you.
Don't.
Oh, I pushed. Sorry, I can't get Mary back. But here's Firefall.
Yeah, the quote from 1984 is, "It's not only must you obey him, you must love him." And also, I have something for Billy Sunshine. He didn't get to hear the J.J. Jackson song yesterday. It's all right.
Oh. It's all right?
Yeah, by J.J. Jackson. It's all right. He didn't get to hear the song yesterday. I want it's for Billy Sunshine.
there's a song I know that's done by that group that had George Harrison and
Well, this is
Jeff-
J.J. Jackson from the late 60s.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now here's Michelle in Salinas. Hi, Michelle.
It's Marcella from Salinas. Hi, MZ.
Maybe.
Anyway.
Yeah. How are you? It's Marcella. Yes. How are you?
I usually haven't called in a long time, but was that Billy Sunshine laughing at Alex Jones and Georgia, the best people you've ever had on that station? They're going after him because he's anti-vaccine. God bless him. And Billy is a disgrace to the human race. Why aren't they going after Hunter Biden? Why aren't they going after so-called President Biden? There's so much corruption and criminality in the Democratic Party. People watch CPAC on C-SPAN and get inspired and learn right from wrong.
What happened to you, Marcella? Suddenly we don't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can.
Okay, please stay and fight. You'll have so much support behind you, not backstabbers like Billy Sunshine. He's just a pig, a total pig.
Was that a nice thing to say?
Well, what did he say?
Now you're breaking up again. Dang it. All right, well, please feel free to speak your mind on KSCO, which I know you do, Marcella. All right, no other callers. So I guess it's just you and me, Amy, to fill up the other 6 minutes. You know, if there are some other callers, there might be time to put them on. But what should you say to me and what should I say to you?
I think we get some kind of good response, and they talking about, but it's burden with proof. You want them to prove it to you. What's harm to that? I don't think it's possible. But the one I think they talk about the expert, maybe you should approach him. So we got something positive, right? And also some negative, say that you just obey and you just, pay everything, whatever they want you to do. Those people, I think, is negative to me.
Yeah.
And then coming to the station, they think, oh, that's useful, so you keep it, so you're suffering. That's it. Who cares? So that's how I got the message. I don't know. Maybe you got differently. So what's your...
I don't know. I'm just tired, but the phone lines are filling up again. So let's see. Drew in Santa Cruz has a quick comment. Go ahead, Drew.
Yeah, just a quick question, actually. Have you checked what the ADA would say about a narrow 3-foot walkway? Does it approach a door?
Yeah. No,
well,
I haven't, but they might say it needs to be 5 feet, and that's a bit of negotiation, I guess.
That might be worth finding out ahead of time before you start digging.
How about the fire department?
I don't intend to start digging.
How about the fire department?
I just don't. I want to work this out some reasonable way, and I'll work with them.
How about
I
the
guess I
fire
shouldn't say I won't start digging, because that means I'm unreasonable.
Fire department have a new requirement for all the properties. Right
yeah,
now, because
does it trump the riparian corridor?
So you had
because that's what's causing everything, the proximity to the water. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, Drew, thank you very much for your suggestion. I will definitely do that.
Thank you for your time and your good work. Bye-bye.
Okay, appreciate it. Here's Rory. Hi, Rory. Nice to hear you.
Yeah, nice to hear you, MZ and Amy. Yeah, I'd go with that guy that said out-expert them and get a workaround. Don't throw in the... You're whining too much, MZ.
Okay.
You gotta just knuckle under. It's your family legacy. It's an absolute gem. It provides an open forum for the community, out-expert them and spend the money. Don't be afraid to spend. Don't love the money. If you love the money, you'll fail. Just spend the money you need. Get that guy that called in that knows how to out-expert them, and just blow them out of the water. Thank you.
Okay,
All
thank
right?
you.
Buck
Appreciate
up, man. Buck up. Bye.
All right, man up, right? Yeah. So, Rudy and Aptos, you're on.
Hey, MZ. I just had a comment, a couple things, but mainly, you know, I had a great respect for your mother, and she made that station, and she was a true lady, a conservative. But to me, I mean, she would, Billy Sunshine is such a plague to that station. When he comes on, I turn it off. But if you want to hear who he really is, he was on with Dave Michaels, and Dave had to go out to the Dave Cave. So he left Billy alone at the microphone for about 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
And I can't believe the vitriol that he put out, you know, insulting all of your listeners. Your mother would have just gone in there and taken the microphone away. But I told Dave when he came back, I called in, I said, hey, Dave, you can't leave Billy Sunshine alone with the microphone. He's got so much hatred and, you know, just vile in him. And I said, it's like handing a kid a pair of scissors and saying, hey, here, go run around the house for a while. You know, he's a plague to your station, and I don't even understand why Dave Michaels, who I have a lot of respect for and I've met and I know.
Well, Dave thinks the way I do. We like KSCO to be a voice for everyone, and Billy is one of the left-wingers that has the guts to use to use it as a voice. I think that's important. Anyhow, thank you for calling. Here's Willie in Santa Cruz. Willie C., you're on. I know we got less than a minute left, so you got to hurry.
All right, it's WC, and you know.
Oh,
me,
WC,
you know
sure,
dad.
sure. Yeah.
Don't ever give up the fight. You can win this, and I know most backers of the station will back on this, and all of us will, even if we have to get a petition together, petition the board to figure out why they're doing this.
Right. Okay. Thank you, WC. I appreciate it. So you've been a great friend of the station. Thank you. That's it, gang. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, David. Thank you, listeners. See you next week if I don't pull the plug first.
That's all, folks.
KSCO Santa Cruz, Salinas, Monterey.